Chen Yun's obsession with Yu Xuan Ji had grown into a storm. Every day, without fail, he was at Lichen Pavilion. Every night, he pleaded for just a moment of her time. His poems, once tokens of admiration, now piled up like desperate offerings at a forgotten shrine. Each page was a testament to his spiraling devotion, filled with longing, despair, and an almost frightening intensity. But Yu Xuan Ji ignored them all. She had known passion. She had nursed her own heartbreak. This, however, was different. It felt unstable, dangerous. One evening, long after midnight had settled over the city, Chen Yun cornered her in a quiet hallway. His eyes were bloodshot, his hands trembling with a mix of rage and desperation. "Xuan Ji, why?" he begged, his voice cracking. "Why won't you accept me? You give your smiles to other men. You write poems for them. Why not for me?" She met his frantic gaze with a calm, unwavering fire. Her voice was soft but firm. "Because I do not love you," she said, the words hanging in the still air. "And love cannot be forced." Her honesty was a blow he couldn't withstand. It shattered the fragile world he had built around his obsession. Without another word, Chen Yun turned and fled into the darkness of the night. The next morning, the city of Chang'an awoke to tragedy. Chen Yun had been found dead. There were no witnesses, no clear explanation. Only whispers that slithered through the streets and alleyways, growing with each telling. He was last seen near Lichen Pavilion. He was obsessed with her, you know. Do you think? She was involved. Rumors, it turned out, could travel far faster than the truth ever could. Suspicion fell squarely on Yu Xuan Ji. Before the day was out, the authorities arrived. They seized her, dragging her from the pavilion she had called home. She did not fight. She did not cry out. She held her head high, her back straight, even as the crowds that had once adored her now shouted accusations. Former admirers turned their backs, their praise forgotten. Her trial was a mockery of justice. The evidence was thin, contradictory, and based almost entirely on hearsay. But the court had already made up its mind. In their eyes, a bold, outspoken woman was always guilty. A talented courtesan was always dangerous. A female genius was always a threat to the established order. And Yu Xuan Ji, tragically, was all three. "Did you kill him?" the magistrate demanded, his voice booming through the courtroom, expecting a confession or a plea for mercy. Yu Xuan Ji's answer was neither. It was clear, sharp, and fearless. "No," she declared, her voice ringing with defiance. "But if a man cannot endure rejection, should a woman be expected to die for his weakness?" A collective gasp swept through the room. Her words were too honest, too powerful. They were a challenge to the entire system that sought to condemn her. And in that moment, she sealed her own fate. A world ruled by men could not tolerate a woman who refused to be broken. She was sentenced to death. At dawn, they took her to the execution ground. The sky was a pale, indifferent gray, and a cold wind whipped through the silent crowd. Yet, witnesses would later recall that Yu Xuan Ji walked with an impossible serenity. She moved not like a condemned prisoner, but like a poet walking toward the final, perfect line of her masterpiece. There was no fear in her eyes, only a profound sense of peace. As the executioner raised his blade, she was heard to whisper one last verse, a final act of rebellion against the chains they had placed on her. "My soul is free," she murmured. "What can shackles do to the wind?" At just 26 years old, Yu Xuan Ji, the poet, the rebel, the legend left, the world as fiercely and as brilliantly as she had lived in it. In the aftermath, her enemies tried to erase her. Her writings were nearly lost, her story almost completely buried. But a spirit like hers could never truly disappear. Centuries later, her surviving poems still burn with the light of a voice that refused to be silenced. A voice that echoes through time, carrying a timeless message that women can burn bright, that women have the right to choose, that women can live fiercely and unapologetically, even if the world fears their fire. This was the story of Yu Xuan Ji, a brilliant flame that the world tried to extinguish, but whose light could never truly be put out. Thanks for watching.